Ladies and gentlemen, how's it going? It's your boy Roar. We're here with Ellie Minibot again with her song Glory. Beautiful art here. We get the sun going down over on the horizon on the left. It's just about to fade out, but we already got the stars coming in. And she's sitting on either the shore, it looks like a really, really dark shore, Tides come in, I think. And she's got that little boat going. I'm scared, but excited, obviously, because Ellie is phenomenal. I think she is one of the most incredible forces in this space. But it's always it's always a matter of how many buckets of tears I'm going to cry. It's either going to be a small amount or just gallons. And I'm not looking forward to that. But I want you guys to know how great her music is. So I am willing to let's just check it out. You guys know. Anyway. Hold up, what was that? Wait. I thought there was something right there. Maybe it was just something on my end. I thought there was a clicking sound. Right.
To the flat black expanse of the window, all sober and starless, the sky over limbo.
Okay, window and the sky over, or walking up to the window, the black expanse of the window, and looking over limbo. That's very interesting analogy right there. Again, it's one of those things that she does so well. She's just able to very freely use words to encapsulate ideas that make sense. I say this as a lyricist who oftentimes, I'm very specific with my analogies because if I try and stretch it out too much, it just feels weird. There definitely was a point where I was on that Owl City stuff where I'm like, hey, let's just kind of just go with the analogy. If it makes sense to you, it'll make sense to someone else. Well, I'm not the guy who can come up with golf and alcohol don't mix. That's why I don't drink and drive.
Expanse of the window, all sober and starless, the sky over limbo, sweating my stress into yesterday's shirt. Too late
Sheet.
to dream and too early for work.
Ooh, okay. So she's sweating into yesterday's sheets, I think she said. So you're in bed, you're sweating, and you're stressing about different things. Too early to work, but it's too late. You haven't really been sleeping. You've just been tossing and turning, if I'm hearing that correctly. I just had a night like that last night. What the heck? But I get that when you get stressed about stuff, you can wake up early and you're like, I can't really go back to sleep, but then it's too early to go to work. Like, just have stuff spinning around in your head. Ooh. Oh, yesterday's shirt. Maybe shirt and work.
Clock says it's 3, but the clock runs slow. Early to rise, nowhere to go. Nothing to do, at least nothing is free. Let the water keep rising, Lord, let it take me.
I noticed the sun is coming up.
Glory, glory, it seeps in so slowly, too tied up and trusting to notice it change. But someday you're covered in water stains, weathered and weakened and all rotted through. Nothing worth saving, yeah, nothing to lose. Can't build or I'll break, I can't change what I've seen. Let the water keep rising. rising low, let it take me.
Huh. I'm trying to figure out what that means. I'm gonna put aside the glory part for a second, those words specifically, because I don't know how it ties in yet. I feel like it's just kind of giving this, as I feel like she's done before, where you just kind of you some words might not mean something yet, but then it builds into it later on, especially since that's the start of the chorus. I feel like she's going to explain more, but that analogy of you're here by the water, they said let the waters keep rising, let the water take me. You're too you're just soaked through in water, and there's nothing that you can really be done with you. Sort of like driftwood was what I was thinking. You're kind of just soaked and you can't be built upon, but nothing to build but nothing to lose. I think that's what she was saying on that. So just this idea, I think, of you just being soaked in your misery and just kind of stuck where you are, I guess, by the ocean. Very interesting. Let me dial it back. I just want to, yeah, maybe I'm trying to read into it too much, but
Glory, glory, it seeps in so slowly to tight.
it's just that. Sorry. I coughed. I'm choking on my coffee. That's what that is. Excuse me. How, like, the way she has chosen, first of all, excuse me, that coffee is so strong. The way that coffee, it comes in so slowly. The way that she knows how to just punch in and just really come in with a lot of energy after she's just been singing very somberly, very, okay, glory, glory. There's not too much emotion in that yet. Unless you want to derive that from the sun coming up. There's a little bit of something on the horizon. That's a metaphor we can draw from. But man, for her to just punch in like that, gosh, she's so good at that. Her voice is so unique in that regard. So the cough.
So slowly to tight up and trusting to notice it change.
Okay, too tied up to notice it change. Maybe you're too tied up in where you are to notice the sun rising. That's the glory.
Someday you're covered in water stains.
Water stains. Okay, goes back to her crying in her shirt.
Weakened and all rotted through.
Yeah, okay, weathered and vacant and all rotted through. So it's like driftwood. It's just been sitting there. It's just been soaking up water, and it's rotted through. Very interesting analogy because, you'd hope that as a person, if you're stained from what's going on the inside, that you're not going to be rotted through, unless it's something really horrible that is just kind of eating at you, I guess.
Nothing worth saving, yeah, nothing to lose.
Yeah, so I feel like that analogy is like nothing worth saving, but nothing to lose. I feel like that's, if we're doing this person analogy, it's saying you might look like you're just kind of a broken mess because here you are crying and just broken down with these things. You might think that the analogy I first think is you don't feel like you're anything worth saving at that point because look at me, I'm just a mess, but you're nothing to lose. Like it's you're not someone that we should lose. I think that's what she's saying.
Can't build or I'll break. I can't change what I've seen. Let the water keep rising low. Let it take me.
So then I can't build because I can't change what I've seen. I felt when I first heard that, I thought it was like building a raft. Like I'm not going to be helpful to be built into something because I'm so waterlogged and just rotten through. I can't change what I've seen. There's these things about my life that have blemished me. I love the artwork style too. It's just so.
Heart in my hands and my heels in the dirt, and it's plastered my hair and it's soaked through my skirt. If I
Okay, so heart in my hands, heels dug in the dirt. Your heart in your hands, obviously, it's like, here I am, this is me. Heels in the dirt, though, can be indicative of a couple things. If you're standing on the shore, if you've ever done this before, you stand on the shore, the water keeps coming in and out and in and out, and your heels kind of dig in because you are a force beneath or, above that dirt. And as the water keeps coming, you sink in that. But also it can mean if you're digging in your heels, life's trying to pull you in a direction, and you're digging in your heels, stopping the motion forward. Also could be analogous with driftwood. It can kind of dig itself into the sand a little bit as the waves are trying to pull it, perhaps. And then she's just describing how she's just kind of soaked through with, her hair's matted, her skirt's matted, it's stuck to her body because of the water. So
my hair and it's soaked through my skirt. If I fall to my knees like a child in a church, all bloodied and blue-lipped and blinded by hurt, singing glory.
that's what I thought. That's what I thought you were leading up to. Church, singing glory. Glory is usually used in plenty of church music to connotate this wondrous awe and reverence for Jesus. So, it's saying, fall to my knees like a child in church. The Catholics kneel frequently. You also kneel before entering your pew, before crossing yourself. And then also there's a back and forth that happens in Mass where you go from sitting to kneeling to what have you. The coffee is just, this is literally the first thing that happened to me this morning. I chose to react to this first thing in the morning. This is starting my whole day off, just like, gag. Oh my gosh, jeez Louise. Anyway, falling to your knees like a child in church. There could also be that idea of being a child at heart, being reverent to Jesus. It's the Bible talks a lot about how children who are not seen as valuable in the days of Jesus's time, there were a bunch of children that wanted to see Jesus, and Jesus, his disciples were trying to shoo him out of here. Like, Master, let us get these kids out of here. You have important work to do. And he goes, hey, don't hinder them, for of such is the kingdom of heaven. They just come to me with this reverence and, hey, we want to hang out with you, Jesus. We want to be with you. That's the mindset and the heart attitude that I want you to have. I knew she was going to say glory related to the church. I just had this sneaking suspicion. Her voice is so good. It's so powerful and feels so precise with the emotion that she wants to put out there. There's a lot of artists that they, you can feel the emotion that they sing something with because, we know them, right? So there's a lot of eye language. There's a lot of straightforward analogies with things. So you can hear someone talk about something really sad or something traumatic and you hear it in their voice. Like NF, How Could You Leave Us? Where he talks about his mom. He openly cries in the song during the breaks between the verses. It's written on him. It's not analogous. But then she knows how to do these analogies too, where it's like, I don't know how much of it is always tied to her necessarily, like her real life, but there's still these very pointed emotional moments where she might not be crying as she's singing it, but I could feel like what she's talking about. Anyway.
Blinded by hurt, singing.
Yeah, and blinded by blinded by hurt. So many people are blinded by hurt in a lot of different ways. And for some people, that's what helps them find their way to church. You know, you're looking for some sort of relief somewhere. And I would hope, has been the case for more people than not, at least with the churches I've gone to, that, when you're at a place like that, you can kind of look around and see everyone else is in the exact same spot. Because if we're all honest, it doesn't matter if you tithe to a church and pray to Jesus or not, we're all hurting. And to at least have a safe place where it's like, yeah, we're all in the same boat. Let's say glory.
Blue-lipped and blinded by hurt singing, glory, glory. If this world's not for me, if all rivers find their way back to the sea, let the water keep rising, Lord, let it take me.
This world is not for me.
All rivers find their way back to the sea, let the water keep rising, Lord, let it take me.
This world is not for me. That's a reality that we Christians talk about all the time. Because it's not. This isn't our final home. Our final home is with Jesus. The hurts and the pains that we go through, they're going to melt away at some point. Great song. I could ramble on and on about this. I'm just gonna go quietly cry in a corner. But you guys, please let me know your thoughts in the comments. Link to this is going to be in the description. Go support Ellie's music. And that's all I gotta say about that. Thanks for watching.